Good morning, class. Today I am going to teach you about the disadvantage of friction. Friction causes object to wear away. Tiny pieces break off a surface when it rub against another surface. As I am just writing the chalk on the chalk on the board, you can see that the tiny pieces break off at that time. So the wear and tear due to friction can happen quickly or slowly depending on the nature of the material of the two surfaces. Friction is harmful to us and considered as evil. The following are the disadvantages. When a body moves over another body, the part of energy is used in overcoming the force of friction. Okay, so this energy dissipates in the form of heat energy for the overcoming of that energy. Okay, when a body moves over another body, a part of energy is used. At that time, some energy is also used in overcoming that type of force of friction, and this energy dissipates in the form of heat energy. As you start to rub your finger on that book, after some time rubbing, you can see that you are feeling there some heat due to overcoming that energy. Okay, when a body moves over another body, a part of energy is used in overcoming the force of friction. Next, friction wears out the rubbing surface due to friction. Wear and tear of machine part increases and reducing the life of the machine. By rubbing, as the wears out the rubbing surface, the wear and tear of machine parts increases. Now, due to friction, undesirable heat and noise are produced. The heat can damage machine parts, whereas noise produced beside reducing efficiency of machine can affect the people living close to the source of the noise. Next, if the engine of a car, a scooter, etc. is not given a continuous supply of oil, the pistons of cylinder gets hot due to friction. Okay, so we have to apply some lubricants at that time to reduce protect the causes of friction. The tire of vehicle like car wear out due to friction with road. So come on the method of reducing friction, that is first by using lubricants. Lubricants are the material which can be applied between two surfaces in contact for reducing friction between them. By applying lubricants, we can just reduce the effect of friction. Common lubricants are oil, grease, graphite, powder, compressed air. As you are using grease also in your bicycle, in your riding cycle, Now come on the polishing. Polishing rough surface also reduces the friction, because by polishing some surface there is a smooth layer are also present which prevent the effect of friction. Okay, by using ball bearing on roller bearing. Ball bearing, you can see the diagram of this ball bearing, in which you can see the middle part is known as axle, and the wheel, and this is the surface area that is revolving, and balls, there is present of balls act as roller. These balls are just act as roller between axle and inside surface of the wheel. So by using it, you can also reduce the effect of friction. Ball bearing and roller bearing are used in the system to minimize the friction, as the rolling friction is much less than the sliding friction. Okay, now come on the by streamlining. You can see that aeroplane, there is a rocket, birds, fish, submarine, all have a special type of structure that is known as streamlined structure. So okay, so the shape of body around which a fluid, liquid or gas, these are fish are present in the water, while the aeroplane is in air. So either liquid or gas can easily flow by the help of this streamlined shape. Why? Because this streamlined shape minimize friction. Air and water offer the maximum friction. Okay, so object moving in air or water have streamlined bodies to reduce this friction. Birds, car, aeroplane and rockets have special streamlined bodies. Why they have this streamlined body? To reduce the effect of friction. Ships, fishes, boat and submarine are broad in the middle and narrow in front and at the back. To reduce the effect of friction, you can see that either fish or this rocket or this aeroplane all have a streamlined body. Now come on the by wheels. You can see if a suitcase is fitted with wheels, it is easier to move. Why? Because we just apply there the rolling friction. So if a suitcase is fitted with wheels, it is easier to move it because the friction between the wheels and the ground is less. Okay, thus wheel also reduces the friction. By anti-friction metal, when steel slide over an alloy of lead, the friction is less. By because the lead is also just give the smooth surface of that particular thing. When steel slide on steel, bearing are sometimes packed with such an alloy to minimize the friction. By air cushion, by separating the surface by an air cushion also, a hovercraft can travel over rough land, swamp or sea here as the moving object does not come in contact with the other solid surface, so the friction forces are reduced to a very great extent. As you see there, this is a hovercraft. You can see that there is some air cushions are present, and these air cushions just reduce to minimize that irregular surface also. Okay, so you have seen here by making the surface rough. Ways of increasing friction. Sometimes we have to increase the friction to stop some object, just like by making the surface rough. The rough surface provide a better grip. As you can see on the sole of the shoes, there are some types of grips are also present to increase the friction. That similarly brake shoes and drum of vehicles are made rough in order to stop vehicle in a very short interval of time. If you have grips on your shoes, then you can stop very fast. Okay, now by using a dry surface, sometime you are just slipping on the wetty surface. Why? Because at that time the friction is slow, or we can say in a less amount, while dry surface it contain more friction than the wet one. So that is why sand is sprinkled on a smooth road after raining to make it rough. Whenever you are seeing that road is very wetty and very smooth, at that time we have to sprinkle sprinkled the sand on that particular place for increasing the friction. By increasing the weight of a moving body, the friction increases. As I told you that effect in the first part of that video, I told you that mass of the sliding body is also factor affecting friction. So by increasing weight, we also increases the friction. By making grooves in the sole of shoes, the grooves are the cuts are present and on the sole of the shoes, they also increase the friction with the ground, so that the shoes get a better grip even on slippery ground and we can walk safely. Now come on the fruit friction. When a solid moves in a liquid or a gas, the surface of the solid experiences friction. The friction force exerted by fluid like liquid or gas is also called drag. It is established that liquid exert less force of friction as compared to the solid. Also the gases exert the least force of friction as compared to the solid and liquid. So the shape of a body around which a fluid can easily flow offering minimum friction is called streamlined shape. As I told you in the last para, that last page, that streamlined shape that help in minimum friction, offering minimum friction, streamlined shape. Okay, streamlined bodies affect or just minimize the friction. So here also you can say that streamlined shape offering minimum friction. In nature, the body of fishes is streamlined such that they encounter these things I told you, I explained in the last video, in the last minute. Now come on, the body of boats and ship is also streamlined so that they encounter minimum friction while moving through water. All things are same, just I told you, but there is the option of water. There is the option of water. The body of automobile and aeroplane is streamlined so that they encounter least resistance through air. The shooting star or meteors enter the atmosphere of the earth at a very high speed. At such high speed, the friction due to air is also very high. So this large amount of friction raises the temperature of the shooting star, and we can see they catch fire. The magnitude of frictional force exerted by a fluid on the object moving through it depend on four factors, that is speed of the object. These four factors which magnitude the frictional force: speed of the object, size of the object, shape of the object, and of course nature of the fluid. These four factors depend on the friction. I hope you understand. If you have any question, any queries, then you can ask it to me on my Zoom class. So all of you have to attend this Zoom class. It is very important for each of you. Okay, bye bye.